Hello everyone and welcome to IDX TV. My name is Todd, your host, and today I am interviewing Gerrie from ZigZag at the WMX Asia. So firstly, Mr. Gerrie, how do you feel to be here at the WMX Asia 2022 live in Bangkok?
Hi Todd, it's my first visit to Bangkok, so it's good to be here, and WMX has always been a good experience for us. We've enjoyed coming to many of their previous events.
Well, welcome to Thailand.
Thank you.
Okay, so talking about ZigZag, tell us more about your company and your key features.
So we're a returns management platform, so that means we work with large retailers, carriers, 3PLs and marketplaces to help them and their customers manage returns from anywhere in the world. We're present in about 130 countries, and we've got about 1,000 carrier services on the platform. We have a returns portal that plugs into the retailer's website, so consumers can choose what they're returning, choose the reason for that return, and choose the carrier to bring that back. So we help facilitate returns in many markets.
Right, so that is your key feature of ZigZag, but what do you think your unique selling point is?
So I think global reach is one of them. We are integrated into about 1,000 carrier services worldwide. We support about 15 currencies, 35 languages, and we can do a lot of paperless returns as well to help consumers bring back products without needing a printer, for example. I think the global reach is one thing, but really understanding the customer journey, so creating brand loyalty for that retailer and making it easy for that consumer to return frictionlessly to bring those goods back.
Right. Now, talking about the Southeast Asian market, the parcel delivery market in e-commerce has grown so much over the last 4 years, especially from 2020 when the COVID-19 pandemic first began in Asia until now, 2 years later. It has grown with a number of over 36%. How can ZigZag handle this huge amounts of increase? And of course, there's probably got to be returns management as well.
Exactly. So it's not just the outbound that's increasing, it's the returns as well. So consumers are now expecting to be able to return. They have higher expectations than previously because they're shopping from home more often. The bedroom has become the new fitting room. So effectively they're trying multiple sizes, multiple colours, and they need to know with some confidence that they can return the goods to that retailer if they have to.
Do you think that there's a problem when it comes to omni-channel? Because when people go physically to a store, they can touch, they can feel, but when they order online, it's difficult to touch, feel, and sometimes you don't get a match. What can ZigZag do to assure the customers that they're getting what they want in terms of materials, feeling, colors, everything?
So I think there's really important thing is that the returns policy for that retailer is really important. So consumers now check the returns policy more often than they check the price. So the number of customers that actually check the returns policy is about 75%, so it's really quite high.
Wow.
The number of consumers that are returning is on the increase, and particularly in the younger generation, it's up to 41% of buyers that are buying multiple sizes and multiple colours. So they're buying with the intention of returning a product. So what we're able to offer is some comfort around how easily they can bring that back, and conveniently offering choice of return methods, but also convenience in how they get the tracking notifications and collection from home, for example.
What you said just then, Mr. Gerrie, is quite staggering, 75% returns. Why do you think the trends of returns we're seeing from e-commerce and postal is so high right now?
It's not 75% returns, it's 75% of customers that check the returns policy.
Okay.
But returns in Asia can be up to easily 30%, but in Europe we're seeing up to 50% in some countries like Germany. That will only grow. We've heard in the conference today lots of other presentations from other carriers, from other postal providers that are all seeing increases in returns both domestically and internationally. And that's because consumer behaviour has changed, particularly after the pandemic, because people are now more confident with shopping on the internet, but they expect to be able to return.
So what do you think the high number of returns is due to?
As I say, it's due to more customers buying in the first place online. Older generations are shopping for the first time on the web that weren't necessarily internet shoppers before they were much more comfortable going into bricks and mortar, but due to the pandemic they're now comfortable shopping online.
Okay.
We're also seeing more and more customers buying bigger basket sizes, so they know there's going to be a return because they're buying more items than previously before. So spend has gone up, but not necessarily retention is going up.
Right.
But they're actually more picky about what they want to keep. And I think as you see some countries going into recession, customers are quite choosy about what they want to keep, and they really want good quality products. So if it's not up to scratch, or if it doesn't fit perfectly, they will send it back.
So how can we avoid this? How can we make sure that the return management in terms of renewing is quite low, but the return management in coming back to buy is quite high?
The loyalty piece is really, really important for the retailer. So making sure that customer has a good returns experience is much more likely to make sure that customer comes back and shops again. If they have a negative experience, they probably never work with that retailer again. And by a good return experience, I mean, can they select a replacement item, so an exchange, for example? Can they select a gift card to get that product replaced? Potentially they want instant refunds in some markets. That's not always feasible for all retailers to offer that, depending on the value of the goods. But what the retailer wants to be able to do is know when it's safe to refund that customer before the goods have actually arrived back in their warehouse. So we can give them that data around who, what, where, when and why these products are being returned, and help retailers cut the returns over time using the data that we're giving them.
We want to know what specific technology and innovation have you considered to bring into ZigZag to make sure that ZigZag is still a strong brand and company looking into the future?
So I think refund to gift card is a really good example of that. It's one of the things that's getting a lot of retailers' attention because they really want to work on that retention and loyalty for that customer, and the customer can have confidence when they're shopping again. Live exchanges, so we can see what's in stock in real time to replace an item. If it doesn't fit perfectly, then we can see what's available to offer that customer a replacement. We've got a B2B portal for doing returns by boxes or pallets, so large numbers of returns which could be from store back to warehouse. We've also got a number of new payment methods being added to the platform, new currencies, and also lots and lots of carrier services to give us a better global reach.
Now, talking about re-commerce, what is re-commerce and have you seen it increasing?
So re-commerce is when a customer returns an item and those goods have to be made good for sale again. And we are seeing lots of retailers that want to leave product in local market. They don't want to return it all the way back around the world again. They want to leave it in local market and resell it to the next customer that's ordered the same item. And we are seeing lots of retailers trying to cut down the carbon footprint and the air miles that those products have to travel, and also making those products good for sale again to reduce the impact, the cost impact on the returns, because returns are an expensive thing.
I would like to compare when you say that in the European market, especially Germany, the return is 50%, while in Asia it's 30%. Why do you see such a difference in terms of Europe and Asia? So
I think Asian market has not been used to free returns. Maybe a few years ago there weren't many retailers even offering a returns policy at all. Internet laws have been changing, consumer laws have been improving, and I think just buyer behaviour is now more demanding. So retailers are realising they have to offer a better returns process in order to win that customer in the first place and to retain that customer. So what we are seeing is more and more customers in Asia feel comfortable with buying online, but also feel comfortable that they can return a product. And I think you will see returns continue to increase in Asia.
Is it a tough job for ZigZag to help with all the returns? Because it's quite a huge number when you talk about 30% and 50% compared to Asian market, which is so significantly high. And in the European market, it's all 50%. It's really high.
We process over £1 billion worth of refunds through the platform every year. So we're really used to high volumes and lots of transactions. That will grow, and I think what we're able to do is give insight into why these returns are happening and help, over time, help those retailers to cut the returns wherever possible, but also to make them more efficient and to try and avoid the product being off sale for too long, because the longer a product is off sale, the more that return is costing the business, not just in terms of lost revenue, but also when it does resell, if it's been off sale for a long time, the sale price has probably dropped.
Can you give an example of what kind of products are really high in returns and why is that product so high in return? Just to warn the retailers and maybe also the distributors too.
So female fashion, without a doubt, fast fashion has the highest return rates in the world. Footwear is quite high, it can be up to 50% in footwear. We see smaller returns in things like electronics and books, and much larger in clothing and footwear. Sportswear is on the increase, and then homewares, it kind of sits somewhere in the middle. So not all categories have such high return rates. It's very much led by the fashion category, but there's still a need for a returns process for all categories, even in things like automotive. And we've even started working with exam boards, for example, to return exam papers. So it's not just physical retail product, it's anything that needs to move from A to B.
Right. And when talking about e-commerce, do you see an increase in this platform and people shopping in e-commerce?
Yeah, I mean, marketplaces are really driving growth, and that will continue. We've seen, obviously, Asia leading the way with huge marketplaces here and adoption. Anything that's mobile first is going to win right now, and that includes the returning experience, which needs to be comfortable and quick from a mobile phone. So what we see now is demand from consumers to be able to return stuff paperlessly, so they're scanning a QR code without needing a printer.
Therefore, since e-commerce is booming and it has boomed so much in recent years, especially in the Southeast Asian market, what is ZigZag's short-term, mid-term and long-term goals heading into the final quarter of 2022 and looking forward to 2023?
So short term, it's about getting more carriers onto the platform so we can support consumers better. So we're looking at the Asian market as a really good opportunity for growth. Medium term, we'll start working with more platforms like marketplaces, 3PLs and carriers to help resell our solution into their local customers. And in the longer term, we'll probably put people on the ground in Asia to start pushing the solution out to local retailers.
Oh, this is really great. So how do you feel about being here with IDX TV and at the WMX conference in Asia?
Always good to take part. We're happy to contribute, and I think we've learned a lot from the other participants at the conference. There's a really good network of people here, and lots of insight from the industry. We wouldn't miss it.
Oh, great! Thank you very much. So we would like to thank Gerrie from ZigZag, who is here at the WMX Asia, and thank you for a great interview with IDX TV, which is brought by CCL.
Thank you.